Oh, there we go.
There we go. We're now recording. And I'm very lucky to be here right now.
Oh.
Is that so?
Did you have a near-death experience?
Oh, sort of. I forgot what day it was, and I decided I was going to go to the movies and see 28 Years Later.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And then I was about to buy my ticket,
now-
and then I saw the time it started, and I went, am I meant to be doing something when that starts?
something
And then
on today.
I raced back home.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
That said, I'm almost disappointed because I really want to hear if that's good. Because it
Yes.
looks good, and I definitely want it to be good.
And it's shot on iPhones again.
Well, I saw an interview with Danny Boyle the other day. Bits of it are shot on iPhone.
Sure.
He said that's been blown a little bit out of proportion. It was shot on a lot of cameras.
Yeah, okay. That makes
I
sense.
do like-
But, I mean, the first one was shot on like a fucking Canon X1 or something.
That's true.
Like in like 720p.
Well, he said his thing is that he likes to be very portable, and in particular, he said for this movie, they went to locations that the whole point was to show what the world would be like untouched by humans for however many years or whatever. And he said
28.
drag a whole right.
yeah, they're very specific, actually.
My bad. So if they drag a whole film crew in there, that causes a fucking disaster for the area.
Sure.
So they just tried to avoid doing that, and that's why they made particular choices for certain things, and one of them was an iPhone for certain things.
There was I've seen a picture which is they're claiming is a poor man's bullet cam,
Yeah,
which is
saw
like
that picture.
13 brand new of the latest iPhones. I'm sort of like, you're
Poor
not
man's.
poor if you're buying 13 of them.
Yeah,
it's like
that's right.
20 grand's worth of phone.
Yeah.
Like the poor man one is you have one and you're just using the basic slow-mo function on it. That's
just
the
say,
poor man's
okay,
one.
freeze,
When the-
and then you just
when the
walk
iPad-
around them.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've done it where you get someone to jump and then you move the camera slightly to the left. Then you get them to jump again and you move the camera slightly to the left. And then you just take the highest frame of their jump from every single frame. It doesn't look good, but,
It looks like you tried.
yeah,
That's
right.
the poor man's slow-mo.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so
Danny
I'll let
Boyle
you know
knows what he's
next
doing.
week.
I trust him.
I'll
Yeah.
let you know next week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go tomorrow
wouldn't mind
now.
seeing that. I remember the first one, 28 Days Later, came
Yes.
out on DVD in the UK before it was out at the cinema here, because that was 25 years ago, and that's still just how shit happened there. And an old mutual friend of ours, Greg, brought me a copy, because he went to the UK, brought me the British DVD back, and I'd watched it like a good year or two before it even came out at the cinema here.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
something. Do you
Australia's
think Star Wars was one of the first ones to do the worldwide release?
Oh,
Phantom
maybe.
Menace, you mean?
Like, yeah, the Phantom Menace, where they were just like that came out at the same time everywhere. It was all the
Could
same
be,
day.
Because I remember I really wanted to see Hellboy, and it took fucking forever for that to
Yes.
come out in Australia, and that's
true.
not even that old. Like,
Damn, you know what I haven't seen is that new Hellboy, the one like set
oh yeah,
in like Victorian London or wherever it is. That looked fucking great.
I've heard it's not good.
Really? Okay, let me just see if it's. Oh no, I don't. I'm on some different computer.
just quickly
remember.
while we're talking about Danny Boyle, because there was a thing in last week that we didn't get to. It's actually touches on two favorites of the podcast: is Danny Boyle and Alex Garland.
Yes.
Sunshine, which is
Yes.
I think a fucking amazing
That's a
movie that
great movie.
that people don't seem to know about very much. It's a Danny Boyle movie. It's Danny Boyle, right? Yeah, I'm not crazy. Yeah, it is.
No, Danny Boyle. Does
Yeah,
it also
I
have
would literally
Cillian
just went, hang
Murphy
on
in
a
it, who wasn't famous at the time but is now?
Correct. It's got Chris
Yeah.
Evans in it as well.
Does it? See, I wouldn't have known who he was when I saw that.
And Benedict Wong, I think, is in it too.
Oh, yeah.
Who also you would not have.
Is Killian the guy that's on the ship?
Yes,
Like the one that's
Yeah.
they're all on the ship.
yeah, but the one like that's been on and dosing himself with sunlight and
No,
No, not him?
No, it's somebody else.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, me too.
I might try and watch
Long
it.
in this, or did I make that up?
You're thinking of Benedict Bond.
No, he is. No, he is in it. He is in it. Anyway, the point was that Sunshine was apparently supposed to be a trilogy.
Holy
Really?
shit.
And it just didn't do well enough for them to do anything else. And then the interviewer was asking Danny Boyle what was going to happen in the other ones, and he said, "Well, I don't want to tell you because Alex Garland might want to do something,
Might write a book or
that
something.
material." Yeah, he said because he had some he thinks really really cool ideas for stuff for the later books or later movies, and so
okay.
I'm bummed that never happened because
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
Absolutely.
think
Yeah,
this-
that's...
One of these movies that had a better afterlife than it did on release.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah, people just didn't get it, I suppose.
trying to remember if I went to the cinema or if I saw it on DVD.
I saw it later. I just
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, it just wasn't on my radar. I don't think it
Yeah.
was marketed particularly well.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Oh, see, and this was before I was really paying attention to Alex Garland either. Whereas
Sure.
now
Yeah.
I'd be much more likely to say, "Oh, if he's written it, I'm definitely going to see it." Even
I
if
actually
it's
did. I did
not Dane.
until this. I didn't know he wrote it
Yeah, yeah,
until this article. I was like, "Oh fuck, that was Alex Garland." That explains why it's great. But it is odd, so I get why. Maybe
Yes.
with the you're like Luke mentioned, the guy who's dosing himself with sunlight as they get closer, and he goes weird, and then it gets quite weird.
yeah. I love that genre though of that doomed crew trapped on a ship, one way ticket kind of genre of sci-fi.
I do enjoy it as well. Like the core and stuff like that.
I put Event Horizon up there. It's not quite the same, but just same. This claustrophobic.
Sure, I
You know,
know, man.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that again.
that's some good shit. Yeah.
I love that fucking quote from. We talked about this not long ago. They filmed the sequences that take place in hell, and then somebody that thing about how it was like second unit or something, and then someone came over into the main shoot, and they were like, "There is some fucked up shit going on over there." I think maybe someone needs to check on that crew.
Yeah, yeah.
They may have
Because
lost
how do you
their
film
minds.
hell? And also, it's just flash frames, so you don't
Yes.
really. There's very few things I could even name right now that I remember.
I can
seeing.
name one thing.
It's the one thing
Someone
stuck
getting-
with Luke.
Someone getting sodomized. That's
Oh.
definitely
right.
one of the frames.
Yeah, right. I remember maggots on something. I don't remember the sodomy.
Well, maybe
It's
it's
very
my
very
go-to.
strange.
Wait, did I rape you while we watched that movie? Maybe you've had a...
Probably.
Yeah.
I saw a movie this week. I went to the movies.
Let me guess. You watched Sinners for the third time.
I probably will do that, but I didn't. I went to the movies and I saw Mission Impossible Final Reckoning because I had to.
Yeah.
And
Because it
I'm gonna guess
may or may not be the final one. We'll see.
just another Mission Impossible movie where he runs.
Well, I mean, this... It looks like it's a lot of stunts. It's marketed for just being stunts at this point.
It's disappointingly few stunts, in my opinion.
Really?
It's got... I'm trying to remember. I can
okay
remember
with
one... Well... So...
The first
there's
Mission Impossible
one big
movie.
stunt
Okay.
that I recall. Like the biplane thing, which is in all the trailers,
Yes.
and everybody knows that he did that. That's the thing that he did for this one. It was the biplane thing. And it's like... That's in there. And I'm trying to think what else is there. Oh, there's the submarine bit. Yeah. I guess that's stunts.
So
But I
is there-
don't know
is
how much
there
of it's
more-
real or not.
More movie than stunt now? Because it really felt like it was...
Yeah, my
heading towards
problem
just-
with it really is... So I found the plot of... It continues the plot of the previous one, which I found to be like... The plot was underwhelming because it was an excuse to sticky tape action sequences
Yes.
together for
Yes.
Tom Cruise to do things. And then this one... It's kind of like they had to level set because I guess they knew, we're going to wrap this up. And it is kind of convoluted now because
Right.
it starts with... Okay. It starts with the
Spoilers.
whole little montage about... Well, it's the start of the movie. Like, it's all about Ethan and like... It's got clips from all the previous movies. No, but that's the problem I have with this is that it turns out it's all about Ethan, and it always has been, and everything that's ever happened is always it's all been his
Sounds like
fault.
Spectre,
And it's like
the end of Spectre, where it's like everyone's this is all for you, Bond.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, does it have to be? Can't he just be a hero happens to be involved in these things? Why does it always have to be about him?
Because the thing about the original, not the original, it was a series, but the first Mission Impossible movie, Oliver Stone, was Oliver Stone? No, Brian De Palma.
Right, yes.
There are stunts in it. There's the train, there's hanging down on the above the floor.
Yeah.
But that's not why it's a good movie. It's a good movie because it is probably the best espionage thriller ever written. Like, it's so good. The dialogue is good. The plot is good. Everything about it's good. And then the sequels are up and down, because say what you want about it from a nostalgia point of view, but it's fucking garbage. 3 was brilliant because they went back to its roots.
I'm glad you like 3. Because they talk about it quite a bit in this.
Okay. Well, that's because it's all about Ethan, right? But that's what I liked about 3 was they raised the stakes, but it wasn't because the world was going to blow up. It was because someone was going to kill his wife. So the stakes were high, but just for him. And that worked. Yeah.
Well, there is
And then the next one, they're like,
there's a mystery box.
Blown up. Okay.
Yes. And Moscow blew up because they were trying to kill Ethan. And they mentioned
just kept escalating and escalating, much like the Fast and Furious movies.
But they show like montage at the start, and it's really on the nose, and it put me right off at the beginning because it's basically like he's gone off grid, and he doesn't want to be involved, and then the president of the United States has just sent him this video message that's explaining to him who he is and what he's done, and it's like, I know it's for the audience. But that couldn't have been written any better and less obviously just a fucking info. Like, why is he there going, yeah, I did do that. Like, like, it's weird.
So this is where you need someone like Edgar Wright who can progress the story.
Yeah. He wouldn't waste any time, would he?
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of flashbacks to stuff that happened. Like, particularly Mission Impossible 3 is actually quite important to this in a way that is kind of annoying because it doesn't actually make sense, but I can see why they tried to do that. They tried to tie in a lot of there's other stuff. Do you care about spoilers?
No. Go for it.
All right.
Let's just skip ahead 5 minutes if you care.
The stealing of the knock list, right? Mm-hmm. Remember that guy? That guy that's the guy who built the what is it, the black room or whatever it is, the guy who walks in and the knife falls and they got the coffee. He's in this. Yeah. He's in
that
this.
Guy? What?
He's in this. He becomes the fucking main character.
The fucking terminal user of that computer.
No, he designed the room, and then he got fired and he got sent to fucking Siberia to the place that where they happen to need to go to get something in this, and then he joins the team.
Funny.
So he's in it, and then also remember the rabbit's foot from Mission Impossible 3?
Yes, yeah,
that's in it as well.
Yeah,
turns out they found which.
Do they give you any more information about what the rabbit's foot is than they do?
You find out what it was.
Okay,
and then
all right.
It's conveniently
like, completely, we can just
completely different to what was heavily implied in that movie, which is that it was some kind of biological or nuclear weapon. Right? It's a J.J. Abrams thing, so it was like you don't need to know what it is.
But you knew it was a weapon of mass destruction.
It's a threat, correct? Mm-hmm. It's not. No. It's a bit different, despite all the visual language in that fucking movie, that they still show you the shots, and it's like that's clearly coded as a biological weapon of some sort. Anyway,
mind you, they don't tell you what the knock list is either. You just have to know that knock stands for non-official cover.
They do say that it's a list of agents. I think they do say that.
Okay.
They just don't explain what knock is.
Sometimes that's all you need. This is bad.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't need to know the specific details. Yes. We need to stop that from happening. Fine, let's go on a ride.
That's why Raiders of the Lost Ark is the perfect movie, because he says, you got to go get the Ark, and he goes, why? And he goes, because the Nazis want it. End of conversation. We've got to get it. The audience understands. The character understands. We don't want the Nazis to get a magical thing.
Yep.
So it's the plot of Oppenheimer.
Yes, it is. Raiders of the Lost Bomb. Can I segue just for one sec to say something that actually I realised this week really irritates me about how Raiders of the Lost Ark is presented now on streaming.
Okay.
To match the other films, it's now called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's wrong.
Yeah.
He is a Raider of the Lost Ark. It's not him and the Nazis are trying to raid the Lost Ark. That's the point. You can't say he's not one. Anyway, back to you, Jeff.
Belongs in a museum.
Indie shot first.
He skipped over that part.
So this Mission Impossible, it's got a lot of flashbacks. It frustrated me in that I know not everybody will have just watched them all like last year, like I did, but I didn't need the constant, constant reflashings of like when that guy shows up, right? He walks into the room and I was like, oh fuck, it's that guy. But then it was like, remember this guy? Here's a bunch of footage, and it's like, no, I knew who it was.
Literal flashbacks.
And I feel like literal flashbacks, and I feel like there's a lot of this movie they knew that this could be potentially very confusing. And I wonder if they did test screenings.
Just
and people
write
were
it
like,
simpler then.
The fuck is going? There is literally, but it's not just that though. There's literally stuff in this where it will show you something somebody said 5 minutes ago in this movie, in case you forgot. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, there's literally a bit where a villain says
that's
something
definitely
about
focus group stuff there. Yeah.
Right, like if I say like imagine I'm make something up, right? We're in a movie and I lock you guys in a room and I go, I'm locking the door and the key isn't flushed down the toilet and no one's ever going to be able to open the door again. Nonsense, right? But then you guys are talking and then you're like, how am I going to get out of here? And then it flashes back to me going, I'll flush the key down the toilet. You're never going to get out. And you're both like, I'm never going to get out of here.
Find it down the toilet.
Yeah, right. Like it's like, but I remember I was watching the movie.
You showed me.
Okay.
It's in
when
this
he said that.
But look, I can give him a bit of a pass for the flashback of the guy from Mission Impossible 3, because that came out in 2006.
Yes.
So
Agreed.
no one's going to remember that.
Sorry, that guy's from the first
Mission Impossible 1,
movie.
1997.
Yeah, the MacGuffin is from 3.
So for that type of stuff, I think you can give a little bit of a pass for that.
Is that an Evil Dead mug? Is that an Army of Darkness mug?
It is.
It's his. It's an army of dark chocolate, coffee flavored,
Me and Dan are
chocolate
going to
flavored
see
coffee mug.
Evil Dead the musical next year.
100%.
I
I will
heard
go
that.
and see anything, the musical, but this I will definitely go and see.
What we need to do, because I know someone who's been to see it before, we need to get the most expensive tickets to be in the splash zone.
I was going to make a joke about getting covered in blood, but it sounds like that maybe isn't a joke. Okay, I'm all in.
Like
I'll
when
wear
I saw
white.
Gua at Soundwave,
Oh, shit.
got sprayed with
Got bodily
something
fluids on you.
Yeah, it's got something sprayed on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I've
been
seen
sprayed
footage
by
of
Chisholm.
Ramstein concerts where people
Oh, yeah.
also splayed bodily fluid,
Yeah.
but it wasn't blood. It wasn't blood. Matt, I do like the Mission Impossible movies. I'll see this. I realised recently
It's not bad or
I
anything.
didn't see the previous one, right?
Yeah.
I realised
Okay.
I hadn't seen it. So I thought, okay, I'll watch it. I was going to pop it on during the day because I thought, I don't know. I don't know. I forget between them how much I like them and how good they are, even when they're not good, right?
Yeah.
So I put it on. I watched the first scene on the submarine where they essentially shoot themselves with a fucking missile. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. I'm going to turn this off because I want to watch this properly at
So you
night.
can commit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a way to start a movie. What a great opening scene.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I might watch them
I'll
one
finish
day.
that and then I'll watch
No,
this. Yeah.
look, this is good. I think I was mostly just disappointed because I honestly, Mission Impossible Fallout is still the king in my opinion. And then I believe
I
that's
forget all their
broadly
names because their names
considered
mean
to be the
fucking
case.
nothing. But that's the one with Henry Cavill,
Cavill.
right?
Yeah.
That is
And I just
excellent.
think they've not since,
Yes.
there's only 2 since, but I don't think since then they've managed to top the action sequences and the pacing of that movie. The pacing of it is great. Like this one, I feel like it just slows down too much in bits, and then the action just never really gets to the level of like Fallout. Just like that helicopter sequence at the end it's just really good because I think they focus too much on the fact of doing a real life stunt that is very dangerous, like that motorbike stunt in the one that in what was it?
I don't
Dead Reckoning
care.
Part 1.
You could have told me that he was sitting on a green box and they put everything in. I'd be like, great, that's fine. I'm just watching the finished movie.
it's just that the stunt is great and all that, but it's just compared to just those shots of the fucking cameras on the side of the helicopter and like it's like I don't know.
This is just to
something
keep Tom
visceral
Cruise
about
happy
the way
though.
they did that.
That
Yeah,
he
it is
wants
really,
to.
isn't it? Yeah. Well, somebody asked Brad
Anyway.
Pitt this week if he'd do another movie with Tom Cruise. He said, "I would, but I'm not jumping off a fucking aeroplane." So
Well, the thing is, Tom Cruise won't let him. Because
Yeah.
remember with Henry Cavill, he
Yeah.
wanted to do the Halo jump.
that's right.
And he's
Oh.
kind of like, I'm training, I'm ready to go, I want to do the Halo jump. And he's gone, no, you can't do it. Because like everyone here's been training,
my
like
thing.
if something happens, it's going to affect the film. Now watch me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cavill is good in that movie though, and the fight. Cavill is
Yeah.
a fucking tank.
That's what I mean.
He's so big and so fucking muscular that you can't. He can just hit you way harder than you can hit him.
That movie's just great. And it's got, I mean, Vanessa Kirby's great in it. She's not in this one, unfortunately, because spoilers. She's just not in it anymore. Everything about that one is just it's the best one. And Simon Pegg's got a good amount of stuff to do.
Yeah.
He's got too much to do in this new one.
Yes, the ones where they don't know what to do with him, so they just constantly cut back to him. It's like, oh, come on.
Yes, yeah.
I like
So-
Simon Pegg.
I love
Oh, no,
Simon
so
Pegg.
do I. And I love that he's in these. But
Yeah, but his character, I don't know. It's just his trajectory is just a bit odd to me. And then, in the later ones, like I said, like you said, they couldn't really find anything to do with him, so they had to kind of change his character to make him more of an action kind of guy.
yeah. Oh,
And
he's
it's
in
just-
the field now. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not an action guy.
no, but I mean, he does fine. It's just
But I'm thinking, like, I think this is a little bit slower because Tom Cruise is getting older as well. So maybe they're trying to.
He's going
sort
to
of-
have to slow down eventually, right? He can't
Yeah.
do this forever.
which is the one where Simon Pegg's got the bomb on him. Is that Rogue Nation or is that Fallout?
See, here's the thing. Rogue Nation, they don't mean anything.
Because that's the best Simon Pegg stuff in Mission Impossible. Is
Yes.
that where he's like the hapless kind of tech guy.
Yes.
He's a
Dragged
field agent, but he's
against
not great
Israel.
at it. Yeah, and now he's got a bomb
he's a
strapped
field
to
agent,
him.
but just he's supposed to be in a van with a laptop.
Yeah, he's
kind
the
of
tech
thing.
guy that's sort of watching, and
That's
you
that's
need to go
where I like
here.
him.
And
Yeah. The Emilio Estevez character from the first one, you know, that he's in the field, but he's there to offer technical support.
I forget which one that was in, but that was that's the peak of his character. I think that's when I
oh
enjoyed
my
him.
god,
the most.
I'm just looking at the thing for Mission Impossible 3. Ethan Hunt was forced out of retirement back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's at a
he got
convenience
married
store and
to
someone's
Michelle
like,
Monaghan.
"We're gonna fuck your wife up," and he's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, but I don't know. It's been like 20 years. Maybe he found another time to retire at that time? Not escalate the way he has?
He's gone rogue. He's been ghost protocoled. He's been fucking everything.
Yeah. They talk about that.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Meeting
I bet
in
they
this
fucking
new
do.
one with the fucking president and all the heads of the military, and they're like, "This guy," and then they just do this big
So
montage.
the president
of,
is a character in this movie.
yeah,
Who plays him?
her
I've
don't
been
know
put
her
in my
name.
place, haven't I?
president.
Sexist?
Mission Impossible. I don't know the actress's name. I recognize her, but I don't. Erica Sloane is the president, portrayed by Angela Bassett.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Great. Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not a bad movie. Like I said, just it's good. It's entertaining. Certainly entertaining, and certainly other people in the theater enjoyed it more than I did.
They
Because
liked
afterwards they were all like, "This is fucking sick," and I was like, "Yeah, it's all right."
I think because you sat down and you rewatched them all, I think that may have taken a bit away
Yeah,
from
you might have ruined it for yourself without realizing.
Might have, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just that I like Fallout so much that it's not.
Yeah.
They can't top it. That one was
That's
just
the
best
one where back in the 50s there was a nuclear bomb and then he woke up in a vault, yeah? That's Mission
Yeah,
Impossible
that's right.
Fallout. Yeah,
It's possible Fallout. Yeah.
the original vault.
He has to get the water chip.
Yeah. And he makes friends with a mutant who right
That's
at
right.
the end goes, This is your story, Tom. Couldn't you just reach in and get it unharmed?
Played by Ving Rhames.
Yes, I'd watch
I'd love
the
to help
shit
you.
out of that, Matthew. You joke, but I would be all in for that.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting fact. It's not a fact. What is it? Tidbit?
Tidbit?
Titbit.
The tidbit.
Tits.
It's not about tits.
Oh.
Screenwriting trend, or not cliche. What am I trying to say? A trope. Screenwriting trope. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If a character explains a plan, the plan has to go wrong.
Sure.
If the plan goes right, then it's been kept secret, and at the end they said, "How did you do it?"
Yeah. Sure.
No movie deviates from that. If someone tells you what they're going to do, it goes wrong. Because it's not interesting to see someone do something they've just told you.
And then you've
Yeah.
got the Ocean's movie that do both.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and simultaneously.
Yes.
That's the one that immediately came to my mind too, yeah.
Yeah,
But
because they'll tell you,
the-
and then it does go wrong, and then they tell you it went wrong, but this was the
Yeah.
actual plan in the background.
Yes,
so it does
exactly. Sherlock does that as well, the Sherlock show. Sherlock will
Yeah.
tell Watson what he's going to do, but that'll fuck up somehow. And something else will happen, but then that music will do, you'll kick back in that, oh, hold on, Sherlock knew all along. And then Sherlock will go, well, of course I knew he was going to be there, and he'd fall for that. You know,
Yeah.
so it
But
all
doesn't he do it with like information that's not shared with the audience?
Yes. That's what annoyed me about that show.
Yeah, it's not just the show. I'm listening to the audiobook of the original stories. They're all like that. He's like, and the killer was this person we've not introduced yet.
Yes. And how do I know? It's this evidence that I didn't tell you about.
Yes, yeah.
I've got this signed
the author's
I
just
found this
written
signed
some-
confession.
Yeah. Well, it's more like, well, I noticed that he had red dust on his boots that can only come from Bristol, and I just happened to have been in Bristol. It's like, oh, okay. Well, how fucking convenient for you and the plot
Yes.
of this.
How was I the reader to deduce that in any way?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Because
that's the most-
Of course.
I mean,
Stuff I
guess-
would never have thought of.
I mean, clearly the book's very successful, but I do think
They're
it
written
is.
beautifully, and the characters are great.
Yeah, but I think the best way is give the audience a chance to figure it out first, and then you can
Or
They were
believe that they
written at
could
a-
have and gone, oh,
Yeah,
why
right,
didn't
right.
I see that.
I should have
But
known.
they were
yeah.
also written at a very different time.
Yeah, true.
Like-
Before any of these tropes had been set up.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I rewatched an old movie this week. A movie that I remembered being very good, right?
Star Wars.
Okay.
It's not Star Wars, but we can talk about Star Wars too. I watched
Craig
the
is
original
screaming at us to not talk about
Mortal
Star Wars.
Kombat from 1995. Because
I
in my
love
head,
that
I'm like,
soundtrack.
that was, yeah, well, they know you love it, Luke, and they will just pump that music throughout the entire film. I know that's what a soundtrack is, but but just that one
song, though.
track that literally has clips, audio clips from the arcade game in it.
Brilliant.
But I remember this being a better movie than it is. I'll admit.
Have you
That
seen,
is also,
have you
speaking
seen
of
the
Event
most
Horizon,
recent
that is also
one?
a Paul Anderson movie.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
But have you seen the most recent Mortal Kombat movie?
Recent
No.
from about 5 years ago, or is there a new
Yes.
one? Yeah,
That one.
It was way better than it had any right to be.
It was
I
a
thought
great
it was really
movie.
good.
I think there's a
Yeah,
sequel
it was
coming.
really good.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why I thought, is it out yet or not? But yeah, that
No.
one was very good. Yeah.
Yeah, the original one, very campy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so camp. I don't remember it being this camp. Mind you, it is like a time capsule of mid-90s cool. Like, just stuff that was cool, you know, zooming into someone's face as they take off their sunglasses and say a one-liner type of stuff, you know. That,
Like Mission Impossible 2.
yeah, like Mission Impossible too. Yeah. Yeah.
Where he throws the Oakleys and they explode and into
Right
the
into the
logo.
camera. Yeah,
Dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. Brilliant. I watched a TV show that you would both like, I assume, and then I found out that this is apparently a franchise. I was not aware. I don't know if I mentioned this before on the show. There's a program called Last One Laughing. Have you seen it?
Oh, yes. Love it.
Is it British?
The
There's-
one I watched is British, but there is
I think it
apparently
actually...
many.
I think it
okay.
actually started in Mexico, but there's an Australian
there
one,
you
there's a
go.
British one, there's a lot of different
okay.
versions of it.
There's an Australian one.
Yep.
Huh. I won't watch
Got
that.
got a
Australians
couple
aren't funny.
people that we know tangentially
Yeah, right.
on there.
That's
So,
why I don't want to watch it.
Yeah,
It's less
hosted by
funny.
Rebel
It's
Wilson.
even less funny. I see that you've just talked me right out of it.
See, I
What's the
reckon
British one?
I could have done a better job than some of the people on the Australian one, honestly.
I haven't seen it. Okay.
Yeah, what is with Australian comedians? Honestly,
Some of them I quite like, but they're the ones
Some of
that
them are
are
listening
big.
to this show right now going, fuck you.
yeah.
No, but it's
if
sort of
you're
weird.
listening, it's not you that I hate.
That's
Don't
not
worry.
you. But it's weird. But a lot of the big Australian comedians that I like are the ones that are big in the UK
Yes.
because they've got that type of humor.
Yeah.
And
Did you watch
Yeah.
the UK
Yes.
version of this, though? Fuck,
Yep.
it's good.
Is that
So good. It's got...
celebrity guests or same cast each week?
No,
no,
it's
it's-
just 1 6-hour block. So basically the premise is they get 8 comedians and they're in, I think it's 6 hours total.
Yes.
They lock them in a room. The UK one's hosted by Jimmy Carr.
Oh, it's
They
like
lock
a
them in a
dance
room.
off.
They lock them in
Yes.
a room and it's basically like they're not allowed to laugh.
laugh.
Oh
And-
shit!
And
But
if
of
they
course,
laugh,
they got to make each other laugh.
oh, fuck
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
They each have a special presentation they're supposed to do. They have to do like a performance
Okay,
as
I'm just
part
gonna
of
write
it.
this down because I want to look this up during the week.
It's Jimmy Carr.
I know that's
It's
not
got
hers, but- hello. Yeah,
It's got Bob Mortimer in it, who is just I love Bob Mortimer.
He just gets funnier and funnier the older he gets.
He's so good.
Mortimer.
Um,
Yes, he's like from a bunch of sketch shows, but he's mostly I know him from Would I Lie to You, where he's just fucking incredible. Richard Ayade from IT Crowd and all that. Fucking I can't remember anybody else's
I've
name.
seen it.
I
I know them all because I see them.
know. I just know them all visually from like Sarah Pascoe,
Lou Sanders,
Joe Wilkinson.
Oh yeah.
Rob Beckett, Joe Lycett.
Yes,
I'm
Rob
not a big Joe Lycett fan.
No,
No, I don't know. Something about him, but Rob Beckett, Joe Wilkinson, I love. He's basically me. Unkept and drunk.
yeah. Anyway, you got to watch
yes, I know who he is. Yeah, he's fantastic.
this from Afterlife, the mailman
Yes.
from Afterlife, and actually, and the prostitute from Afterlife is a co-host with Jimmy Carr on this. I forget her name
right.
too. But anyway, it's really funny because it's just fascinating to see what eventually fucks them up, and they laugh. Like some of the things, it's just like, and afterwards they're like, "I'm
I would
so
last
angry at myself."
10 seconds in there. Except the Australian one, I reckon I could win because I just sit there going, "You guys are really not funny."
Because this one bit, this woman's doing really well, and then she tries to tell a funny story, and then she just can't. And then
Yeah.
Yadi's like, "You've just fucking torpedoed yourself. Why
Yeah,
did
you're
you do
laughing
that?"
at your own joke. Yeah,
She was like, "I was so mad at myself."
that's an own goal. Wow,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's
Torpedo
super funny.
yourself like the first scene of Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Anyway, great show. Really, really
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah, I'd watch that. What was the other thing that I said I was going to watch? Oh, that's Hellboy, the new Hellboy.
Oh yeah.
Gotta watch that.
Is it new? It came. I thought it came out a while ago.
Yeah, but maybe within 3 years.
I'm thinking a
within
different
4
one.
years?
Yeah.
yeah.
It was the first one was
Yeah.
a different Hellboy.
Second one was
Yeah,
a
as
different
far
Hellboy,
as I
right?
know, it's
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a
'Cause,
different movie then.
What's his name played Hellboy in
David
one?
Harbour.
That's right. That's the man. And now
But
there's a
this is
different
not
person.
David Harbour or
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Oh, maybe
correct.
I haven't heard it's bad.
It's somebody else.
Maybe you haven't heard of it at all.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm telling you about it now for the first time. I started watching something this week. I started watching Cobra Kai, which is
I
the
told you to watch this years ago.
Is it actually good?
fucking so good, Matt. It's so good. And the things that I thought I was going to not like about it, it turned out not. I didn't need to worry.
You didn't
So-
not like them.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll tell you what. So the premise is, I think Cracked did a video on this like 15 years ago where they were like, actually, if you rewatch Karate Kid as an adult,
Daniel's the
Daniel
bad guy.
is the bully to Johnny Lawrence. Steals his girlfriend and then unprovoked violence and all this stuff. And there is a great scene in one of the early episodes where Johnny is telling somebody about it. He's like, yeah, and then I hadn't seen him for months, and then I'm rolling a joint in a toilet, and he just fucking squirts me with water, the prick. Like, and you're like, yeah, that really, he was asking for it at that point.
And then he used like an illegal kick and...
Yeah, he won with an illegal kick, and then, yeah. But, so it's about what happened to Johnny Lawrence, 30 years after that, he was kind of the Jack the lad
cool
of his
guy.
high school, but he didn't. Shit did not work out for him.
The same way
shit
it happened
did
with a lot of the cool people.
Yeah, but LaRusso has been riding his fame this whole time, only to open up a used car dealership, right? And is just a fucking smug bastard living, in a much nicer house than Johnny. And then, over the course of episodes, they end up each starting up their own rival karate school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very good. It's packed with nostalgia from Karate Kid, but also just broad 80s nostalgia anyway, because,
But
Johnny
also,
doesn't know about
the further you go down, and I don't want to give you spoilers, but it's nostalgia for Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3, which really brings back characters from everywhere. Sure. And it really does
those
show
little drums.
But it just shows Denny to be...
That's been in
it. Has? All right.
But it shows Denny to be the one, like, I must save everything and I'm right about everything. It still shows that throughout the entire thing. But no, it's worth the watch. I think the last season's coming out soon. And
yeah. Because there's like 6 seasons. And I thought, because they train kids, and I'm like, I have a problem watching stuff with teenagers in it now, because everyone who writes for teenagers tries to make them really woke and really it's just, it's alienating to watch adults writing for kids now. But these kids talk about fucking dicks and stuff, and the main girl, LaRusso's daughter, she gets bullied because everyone thinks she sucked a bunch of guys' dicks. Do you know what I mean? It's good stuff.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely worth a watch. I enjoyed watching it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the end of it. But yeah, I just love it. Like, it just keeps bringing back old characters and giving them sort of because some people, they were in the movies and then never seen again, never acted, and they're still they're back again.
They found him. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Miyagi in it? I think he's dead, isn't he?
He's dead.
Yeah, he's not in it. He's mentioned.
They talk about him a lot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of photos on a lot of walls that are screenshots from Karate Kid 1 and 2. And it's like, I don't remember seeing a guy there taking a picture of this.
I love it when shit like that happens.
But
he didn't have any pictures of
Here's the surveillance footage, Mr. Hunt, and it's like him fucking on the cables in the room. It's like, wait, you have footage of that?
But I am going to say, Daddy, he's very caught up on a guy that he knew for about 5 years, 40 years later.
Less. Yeah, right. Like one school term. Yeah, it's true. It's true. The only people whose names I remember from high school are like you and like 6 other people who I still in touch with.
I feel bad sometimes. I'll get a request on Facebook and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Oh, we spent a long time together in high school.
Yeah.
You were a person in my class.
Yeah, I see that. I've run into people, and every now and again they go, "Oh yeah, we were such and such," and I have no memory of you.
That sounds like something, Matt, that you would write on somebody's going away card if you didn't know them very well. You were a person.
I do recall that name from roll call.
Yeah. That happened to me the other day, actually. Literally that. I was reading, I was going to say a newspaper. It wasn't a newspaper. It was online, but I was reading the news.
Sure.
And
God, don't do that.
Well, this is about the creative director of the Sydney Festival stepping down.
Okay.
And so it was, or
he didn't blow
Council
up,
for the Arts
obviously.
or something.
Yeah.
She. You've done it now.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
You've done
God.
it. No, but I was like, I know that name. That's a girl from my fucking roll call in high school. And I Google, I'm like, oh yeah, and it makes sense that she went and became a arts council board member. So
that was the school she went to.
That's what they said in the yearbook. Most likely to become an arts council board member.
Yeah. And I wrote in her yearbook, I think I remember you from roll.
I actually even just forgot that there used to be a thing as roll call.
Yeah.
I
Gotta make
dated
sure they're
somebody
there.
from my roll call once. I dated somebody I had no other classes with, but I just knew from from roll call.
Roll call. It had another name. What did that what was the other name for that?
Homeroom, but that's American.
Homeroom.
Yeah,
We did.
Yeah, because I remember going to roll call because you get marked off. Yes, you're here, and then I'd piss off to Dick's house and get drunk and play Nintendo. Mm-hmm. So why did I even go to roll call? Like it wasn't even.
Yeah, because roll call also it was by last name letter. So I was just with all the M's from 7 till 12. You know, it's so weird. It's such a weird way to do it.
But it was also the same in primary school. Like, you were just sorted by your last name, and now you're red group, and blue group, and yellow group. But there was no...
I mean, it was just to make sure everybody was there, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, which I assume is so they're liable or not liable if something happens to you on that day.
There's probably a provision in the school contract your parents sign that says if they're not in homeroom, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I went to that, and then I piss off.
Yeah, well.
But just to be clear, you didn't go and create mischief around town. You went to Dick's house to play Nintendo. So
we caused no problems at all. Mm-hmm. Even when we used to hang out at the Quicks, which is a garage station.
If anything, we stopped robberies.
Well, I remember one time they got upset with us and went like, you can't hang around anymore. We didn't hang around that next night, and they got robbed. And then the next time was, you can hang around at night if you want.
Yeah, because free refills on your drinks and stuff. Yeah.
I remember changing people's tyres. We never caused problems.
Against their will.
I helped a lady break into her own car when she locked her keys in one night.
We helped and just sat around and smoked and drank. Yeah. Not drank. We didn't really drink. We smoked and just talked.
No, we didn't drink. And I was talking about some of that the other day. But somebody said to me, like, because at the time, I'd just be like, oh, it's about 10:30. I'll put on my fucking
someone will be there
and go up there. My mum would be like, oh, who you meet? I'm like, no one, but someone will be there. And if not, I'll just talk to Leaf, who works there, like until someone rocks up. Yeah, but somebody was talking to me the other day about like, oh, when you're 14, 15, you start really drinking at parties and stuff. I'm like, I didn't. And they're like, well, didn't you go to parties? I'm like, yeah, I did, but I was taking my computer to these parties, like unhooking my PC. It wasn't booze. There was a couple of women there, but that was only the ones that got brought along and were like, can we go now, please?
Go now. The worst part was when you had the LAN set up and then you'd been drinking Coke all night, smoking, and then you forget which can you'd been using as your ashtray. And then you take that sip.
I've definitely done that.
Yeah. I brought Michelle to a party once at Dave's house. She didn't stick around.
Yeah, I think we've all done it. You're like, are you into this at all?
And I think it made everybody nervous.
Create a big line
because it was
that's right.
Because it's Joe's sister, and I was like, I didn't understand the dynamic at that point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because we all knew Joe.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Got to know him though. Got to know him dangerously well.
I was about to say, yeah.
I get along with Joe great.
No, Joe's cool. We've since hung out. Yeah. Just at the time, he didn't like me.
I wasn't doing his sister, so he literally had no problem with me.
He threatened to murder me. Threatened to murder me.
I would have. We all would have.
Literally threatened to murder me. And
I bet.
But then bought me a drink. Years later, bought me a drink.
Funny,
he said, sorry about that.
He was also a bit of a man whore himself, though. But the second it was his sister, nothing.
Yeah.
It was a more complicated situation to do with other people, and we don't need to get into it on this show. Yeah.
That's for the after party.
I understand now. I understand that it was not entirely his fault that he was mad at me. Somebody else told him some nonsense.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
People ruin it for everyone.
Naked Gun.
Oh, I just watched it just before we started recording, and
I like the teaser trailer more than I like this. I must admit, I'm not sure now.
The thing with this is,
it looks like the old Naked Gun movies. But I've realised that I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. I was like, this looks fucking stupid. But then, is the Naked Gun, and I love
it is. Like when it starts off the new trailer, it's starting to seem like it's a bit more serious, and like when you kill a man for the first time, like and then you find out you love it.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then he's ripping.
Because I remember
guys'
they had
arms
those
off.
kind of gags, like in the first one where he's like snooping in that person's house, and he opens the drawer and he goes bingo, and then pulls out a bingo card. Like that's the level of humor.
The whole thing about those shows was it's just joke.
Yeah.
There's not really a story. It's just how many jokes can we fit in.
The plot is designed to be funny.
Yes.
Yeah, but plot's just jokes. It's just jokes strung together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I want to enjoy this. I think I can enjoy it. I just have to remind myself what this is before I see it, like, and not expect it to be something else.
Like, just imagine seeing this at your age in the 80s and watching it now, because you'll probably love it.
Yeah. Because I remember the Naked Gun movies were always. Do you remember? I don't know. I mean, there's no TV anymore anyway. But there used to be an 8:30 movie on pretty much every night of the week. Just 8:30 was a movie. Later they changed it, but when I was a kid, 8:30 was a movie. But then 10:30 was also a movie.
Yes.
And basically, if there was breasts or swearing,
You
that
want
was the
10:30.
10:30 movie, not the 8:30 movie. So you had E.T. first, and then you had Naked Gun or something like that in that range for the 10:30 movie. So, and obviously, I was never allowed to.
The annoying
Stay up
thing,
late
the
later
thing I
watching.
hate is it's going to come out on August 1st. I'm not going to be able to see it.
Why?
I'm going to be in
Well,
Vietnam
you
then.
just can't see it on that day. Or that
Well,
week.
no, I'm not
No,
gonna,
that's
I'm,
it.
I'm
You're
planning
not in
to
the
go.
country.
I
You're not
wanna
allowed to
start-
watch it.
I want to go to the movies more, but I'm going to
Yeah.
be traveling, and it's a bit harder to see.
What?
No,
Cancel
they
the trip.
they do have movie cinemas in Vietnam if that's where you're going to be.
Yeah, but I don't want to
Mate.
read.
You know, you won't because it will be in English and the subtitles
Yeah,
will be Vietnamese.
you can probably just
Wouldn't
ignore
they
them
dub it?
and put English subtitles.
Yeah.
It would be very funny.
They wouldn't do that. No.
No, but when I was there, I don't remember seeing a movie theater.
There are definitely movie theaters.
They must have movie
But-
theaters.
I've not seen a movie in a movie theater in Vietnam. I've seen movies in movie theaters in Thailand. So and if they do in Thailand, they definitely do in Vietnam.
Yeah, when I was there, I just never saw one.
How long are you
They
going
must
for
be
this
the
time?
Philippines.
Well, I'm planning to go to hospital for a week, get pumped full of ketamine. I want to do that in about 3 weeks.
Well, Dan and I will do that
Look,
before we do our big
Yeah.
trip too.
Well, if you want to get pumped full of ketamine and you're going to Southeast Asia, I'll hook you up.
and
It's like taking your own pizza to the pizza shop, Luke.
Well, no, I am not taking any drugs to Southeast Asia.
No,
Or taking
the cops-
drugs.
and
Yeah,
the
Southeast
border
Asia.
control will be like, "Do you have any drugs?" And you'll be like, "The drugs are already inside me." And they'll be like, "What?"
Well, the first time when I did go to Vietnam last year, when I did rock up the customs, I went, I have drugs, which was a little scary. They laughed at me, thank God.
They weren't used to just having people blurt that out, I suppose.
Well, no, I'm used to when I say, like, I'm getting my prescription and stuff, I'm off to get drugs or something. Like, it's just how I say it. And then I have drugs in the airport. But no, I'm going to go Vietnam and then down to Cambodia, and that'll be about 17 days. And then I'm thinking about doing a trip up in Thailand. Then I'm thinking about maybe ducking across to Japan for 11 days. And then ducking back to Thailand to go to an all-inclusive resort and just relax for a week. So I could be gone for like 2 months.
I mean, that does sound
Fucking hell.
fucking
All right.
sick. Yeah, that sounds great.
And cheap.
Yeah, not Japan. Japan.
Not Japan, though. No.
Everything else, yes.
Well, the thing about the Japan trip, like, I can get like an 11-day tour for like 3,500, 4,000, and getting a flight from Asia to there is like $500. So getting a flight from here to there is expensive, but
You'll
already be there.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then I come back and get my leg cut off.
Aha.
Yeah. So it's
So I'm doing one last trip with my leg.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of different ways you could just really get your money's worth out of that leg while you still have it. Oh, but, I don't know.
But
Three-legged race.
Oh, I can't run as it is,
Yeah,
so that's
I
not
know.
really going to do much. No, well, one thing I'd love to do before I lose it is drive a manual car again.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know where to find one.
No, I know, right? Yeah.
They have
Unless
them here,
I go to
but
Europe.
they're not that common.
My brother-in-law
you can buy
just
like
bought a BMW M2, which is manual. 'Cause I don't even know if they make that in auto. Oh, they probably do. But yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, he bought
It used to be funny to get a manual was the cheaper version. All
Yeah.
those used to cost more, and now
Yeah.
you barely find a manual.
And in terms of
you pay
numbers,
more.
they would make way more manuals, and they would only make one run of the autos.
But now we're heading off to where we are, and everything's gone electric. Manuals are going to disappear.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But even with not electric, the latest Supra, Toyota Supra, didn't come out with a manual. It only was auto. And it's
How
like,
does that
what
not come?
rev heads? Yeah, like buying a Supra. Yeah, there's my
No,
Supra
it's weird.
Yeah,
auto.
just let me put it in drive, or if
Yeah.
a sovereign citizen put it in T.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, for trouble. That's so funny. That's got to be a sketch. That's good. Write that down.
I've been watching. You probably know this guy, Luke. Gavel Gazers is a YouTube channel,
No,
and it's. I mean, I know there's tons of them. This is one I happened to stumble upon, but it's just court cases of a judge dealing with various things, and I guess sovereign citizens come up frequently these days.
it's scary how often they come up.
Because they'll be talking about what someone did, and then they'll say something about they say, he has a license plate that just said traveler, and then the judge will go, oh fuck, all right.
Yep, this is going to be fun. Because they know it's not going to just be you caught me, I'll pay. It's going to be a lot of word salad.
Yeah, and he's like, the judge is like, oh, I see. Okay, you're not allowed to drive anymore.
Yeah. I love the ones where cops pull him over and they're like, I'm filming you. And he's like, great, I'm also filming you, dickhead. And I know the law. Like, no, I know the law. No, you know a website that you went to. And I will literally break this window and physically drag you out of this car. And I'm well within my right to do so.
Yes.
But I don't get the sovereign citizens. Normally what happens is they will lose their license and then they'll look, how can I drive without one? And then they go down the rabbit hole of, I don't need one because it's traveling. And then it's sort of like, no, in America, yes, you have the right to travel between states. That is your absolute right.
I do.
How you travel is not a right.
Right.
I was just thinking. So it's basically saying you can go anywhere you want in the United States if you're a citizen of the United States.
Basically, what the right to travel is in America is you have the right to go between states, and you have the same rights as when you travel into the new state. You have the same rights as any citizen that's in that state.
Of that state. Okay.
Of that
makes
state.
sense.
That's all it is.
Yes, because there was that slave that got taken by his master into a non-slave state, and he was like, I'm
not a slave anymore.
Yeah, and tried to sue.
Yep.
I'm talking like the 1850s. I'm not.
No, not last week.
No. Go on Google. You'll see it. You'll see it.
But that's actually what it's about. It's about having your same rights when you travel across state borders.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's about. But
so you can
people
go to
here
Vermont
try
and
to
buy
tra-
firecrackers, even if they're not available in Tennessee.
Yes. But people just hear
You can't
rights
get in
to
trouble if you
travel.
bring them back. Though.
Back.
Like,
Yeah.
for example,
But you
if I
could
go to
go
New Hampshire,
there,
buy a bunch of shit,
yeah.
bring them back into Rhode Island, the cops could say, you can't have that, mate.
Yeah.
It's the same way with marijuana as well.
Yeah.
Is that not just across the
Fucking
board?
everywhere now.
Okay, now.
No,
In
not
some
yet.
places,
Well,
no.
federally, it's still not legal.
No.
Oh, okay.
It is. It's everywhere now. Here, we've literally, on the way to work now, there's literally a drive-through weed shop on the side of the highway. Here.
The thing is,
I mean,
don't
I've
get-
got
is
nothing
it-
against it. I just think it's funny. That it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we went from, you can't have this, it's fucking illegal, and you'll be arrested for it too.
There are
There's a
still
fucking
people-
weed McDonald's.
There are
Yeah.
still people in jail
Yeah.
who are doing
It
it.
just
But
escalated very quickly. Literally
Yeah.
drive-through weed. So funny.
I mean, I'm hardly surprised.
the thing that it stinks. It stinks worse than
Yeah.
I agree.
cigarette.
I don't enjoy the smell of it.
smell.
Yeah, but again,
I walked
you know.
past someone smoking a cigarette the other day, which has not happened to me in years, and I was like, "Oh, that's
Luke likes that.
glorious!"
I know,
smell.
I love
it
that.
Smells good. Yeah,
Yeah.
but weed.
But
never
no, I just find that marijuana smells a lot more potent and smells a lot more than just a normal cigarette.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but I mean,
It's just weird that we're switching from cigarettes not being legal essentially to. That's why I don't know if marijuana will be ever legal here because.
But people aren't smoking joints. I assume they've got fucking vapes.
No,
some
right?
people do here.
Really? It's
sure
they
they do.
lighten.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. That's that's what I'm saying. If you're out and about in Providence, it's pretty prevalent now.
Last time I was in LA, I went to a shop and they basically you come in, you get a free joint
To smoke while you browse the store.
That's back when it was medical.
That's
marijuana.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. That's great.
No, it was back when it was medical marijuana. Before it was
I
legal.
see. Yeah.
And I was eligible for a license
Yeah, I bet you were. I bet you
without lying.
But we don't like it. So
you just mentioned you've been watching a YouTuber.
I have.
And who was that?
Oh, the channel, I think it's called Gavel Gazers. I don't know that it's particularly better or as good as other channels. It's just the one that I stumbled
That's the
upon,
one
and I was
you've
like,
been
yeah.
No, that's fair. I'll give that a watch.
There's a lot of
I
them
saw
now.
a YouTube channel, and I can't remember what it is, so I'll have to look it up and maybe I'll put it in the notes. But you guys might like it. Have you seen this? It's a blind guy who's been blind since birth, talking about what he thinks things might look like based on the descriptions people have told him over the years. Like, for example, they're like, what do you think a colour is? And he's like, I have literally no idea what a colour is. But
Shit.
I know that people describe things that are blue in this way, and people describe things that are green in this way. And it's so abstract because he has no frame of reference. And
Because he's been blind his whole life. It's not like he lost it, so it's...
yeah, that's right. But and then there's practical questions. How do you know when it's time to go to sleep? Like the day-night cycle. How does that have any effect on your life, or do you just set your watch? Like, and all sorts of stuff. It's so fascinating. There's dozens of videos.
I'd have to think that it probably does, because it's still about that amount of sunlight you're getting and stuff. That would still play a part on that. And I'm going back to that movie with the Bible, Braille Bible.
Yes, the Book of Eli.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I mean, that
was
might
good.
not have been, but I enjoyed it.
I didn't pick the twist. I thought the twist was he was listening to it.
Oh, yeah, okay. To be honest, I'm not even sure I was expecting a twist, so it got me.
Someone told me there was a twist.
Right. Yeah, that's the worst thing that can possibly happen. Yeah.
And I was just going, every time he goes to sleep, he sort of puts in his headphones and I go, he's listening to an audiobook.
I watched that new, it's not that new anymore, M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, yeah.
Beach?
No, I've seen that one. The one at
Trap.
the
Trap
one at the,
or whatever it is.
the concert.
I haven't seen it. I know Jenna watched it, and she didn't
So
know it
here's
was
the
in like
thing.
Shyamalan. And
Oh,
then
you
she
don't
got
care
to the
about
end,
spoilers?
No. Remember, she got to the end and she went, "Oh, that explains it," because it was M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, and the whole time you're like, why is this untalented person playing this pop star? Like, what kind of... And then you're just like, starring Jessica Shyamalan, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this also makes sense. But I was waiting for a twist that never came, because what I thought was just the plot and was very, very obvious from the start...
was the twist.
That apparently was the twist. And I was like, no, that wasn't the twist. They set that up from the very beginning. Like, he's not even trying anymore, if he thought that was going to be a twist.
Well, doesn't he pay for his own movies these days?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get them made otherwise.
Yeah, and they clearly make enough that he can make another one. Yeah, I watched that one on the beach, Old, where everyone just suddenly got really old. That was fucking garbage, but it was better than this
I didn't see it.
I'm still watching them. I don't know why, but I am. I am still watching them.
Maybe you enjoy them secretly.
I don't. That's the thing. But I
Why are
enjoy
you
having
watching them?
seen them. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm a masochist.
Got to see them all. We've got some Minecraft news. And
Yes,
we should
there's
mention
been an update.
We should pimp the Patreon if you like this show and you like Minecraft. join the Patreon, and you can get on our Minecraft server.
And you don't have to be the highest tier. Just any tier.
No.
Any tier patron can come and
get on
join
there.
us in our Minecraft realm.
And I figured out
Several
how to
already
do it
has.
via a link. So I don't have to add you manually. I can
That's
just,
easier now.
if you sign up, I'll send you a link and you can join
Excellent.
if you want or not.
Because I went on the other night, and you know when you're playing at night, as in at night in the game. I mean, you could you navigate by like torchlight. So if you can see a light in the distance, you're like, okay, that's my fucking house. I'll head towards that. So I was on one of those things because I'd strayed a little bit too far. Got back to what I thought was our little homestead, and I was like, this is not a building I recognize. Somebody else has been here and built this house, and I'm in the wrong place. And then that happened once more to me. So it's my favorite part of the game is going in and seeing new things.
What's new
by other people.
And also, because there's been another update that's evidently meant to make it look better as well.
It's fucking beautiful.
Interesting. I don't know if I've seen
it's
that.
like ray tracing or something. It's like, especially at night. During the day, maybe there's some atmospherics I didn't really notice. But at night, the reflections on the water from the lights are beautiful.
Okay.
I think I'm going to make an offensive sign.
Well, it'll try and stop you. So
Yeah. It wouldn't even let me write Matt's Humpy on the sign when I very first started the world, and I built a little shed.
It wouldn't let me have Fag Cottage.
Well, I'll just write
Let's you type it, and then you go, okay, done, and then it just there's nothing on there.
It just disappears.
I'm going to write it in sand.
That'll work.
Then you got to find it.
I got to find Fag Cottage.
I saw someone trying to book seats to see How to Train Your Dragon, the movie, the other day, and then
That also doesn't look bad, I must say. That looks all right.
The live action
It's
one.
you know when you reserve seats at the theater. This was in Australia too, I think. They went to reserve seats, and then they were like, probably not this showing of the film because somebody had reserved the seats and it spelled out the word penis, and then it was like, I probably won't go to this showing.
No,
it's gonna be a bunch of fuckwits.
screening. Oh yeah, fucking hell.
Or
If you just want a riotous night out, book yourself, make an exclamation on the end of that penis.
if I was 20 years younger, that could lead to a great night. Now I'd just be annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one reason. You mentioned, Luke, you want to go back to the cinema, and maybe you can again now because everyone else has stopped going. But I had to stop going because the audiences were fuckwits every time, and it didn't have to be a penis-shaped audience. It could be any shape of audience. They're just on their phones. They're making and taking calls. They're yelling at the screen.
You come to a movie here, you pretty much get a private screening.
That's Mission Impossible. I waited a sufficient amount of time that when I was there, it was still a bunch of people in the theater, but it was just people who actually wanted to watch the movie, not people who were just there to be annoying. So,
Yeah. You know where there is a bunch of annoying people though, and that's the after party
in the Minecraft server.
Yeah,
Actually, aren't we still the annoying people in the after party?
Yeah.
I guess we are. Patreon.com/
Dan's just making his feelings known.
Yeah. Guys, really annoy me.
One thing about Minecraft, just before we go, I was playing, I guess we were at a party the other week, and there was another kid there who was playing Minecraft on an Xbox at the time, and Lyra was watching. And the other day, she said to me, "Do we have that creeper game?" And I said, Minecraft? And she was like, yeah. And I said, yeah, we do. So I, on the Switch 2, I got on our Realm, because you can do it from there. And Darcy was on as well. So that was good. Got to play a bit with him. And Lyra loved it. She was like, I just want to play this forever now. And I was like, okay.
Harper likes watching it.
But I'll say this, chat on the consoles is fucking pain
ridiculous.
In the ass. Because I know Darcy was on PC because he was typing full sentences that made sense, and I was like, and I felt bad that I was like, responding is very painful. So, So if you're listening, and I hope you are, I apologize if I was not as verbose. It's really fucking, and the Switch, the buttons are flipped, as we know.
Oh, of course they are.
So I would type out something, and then I'd go send, and it would go delete. And that literally happened like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, "Fuck this thing."
I get but when I go between Switch and Xbox, definitely happens. But the thing that happens the most on is if I'm on my Retroid, because I've got emulators for Sega and Nintendo, and so literally on the same controller, you have to.
But why is Nintendo different to everyone?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Even Sony, the buttons are labeled differently.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Sony's buttons are labeled differently.
Yeah,
but the bottom one is still select.
Yes, and the one over here is still back.
Yeah.
Nintendo's like, fuck yeah.
No,
anyway,
it's doing our own thing. But after party, we'll be there. See you soon.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.